Hello. What's up? What's up? How's everyone doing? We're doing something new with the audio here. So let me know how it's working. As you can see, we're using the SteelSeries Sonar, and we're also using their new Alias mic. Some pretty cool features built into this. Checking the audio here. Seems like it's coming through. Okay, maybe still music's a little bit too loud. Let me turn that down a little bit more. Let me know how it sounded. What you think. I think that might be good. But today we're going to be checking out some cool new mice. We've got the latest from Glorious. Turn that down just a little bit. Okay. Yes, the latest from Glorious. What I'm using right now, the Model D2 Pro. And of course, we have the O2 Pro as well. You're going to be seeing what all these are about. You can see the Alias mic over here. This little boop boop's going. So I'll be working on a review of that as well, but pretty excited for this whole new SteelSeries ecosystem in here. Some pretty cool stuff. So if you haven't seen it yet, we did post a review. Written review is on 9to5toys.com. And you can check out the video review over on YouTube. Let me turn the audio down just a little bit more. Does that sound all right? Not too loud, not too quiet? But basically, Glorious is out with 4 new mice today. So they have the Model O2 Pro and the Model D2 Pro. And then they have 4K/8K polling variants of both of those as well, which is pretty wild. Lots to talk about. So let me know if you have any questions as we go through this, of course, and we'll check it out. So first off, basically the one I've been using the most throughout all this testing has been the D2 Pro 4K. So the D2 is an ergonomic shape. So of course, I love the Death Adder V3 Pro from Razer. It's my favorite right now. And so that ergonomic shape, which has a little bit more, higher hump on the left side here. It's sloped down to the right, just a little bit more comfortable for me. A little bit bigger, but still very lightweight. The standard 1K version comes in at 60 grams, and then the 4K version adds just 2 grams to it, so coming in at 62 grams. I'm trying to find the box for it over here. Here we go. It's kind of wild. All these boxes got the O2 Pro 4K. We got the D2 1K and the O2 Pro 1K. So, and they all look, very similar. So we gotta just make sure we're grabbing and talking about the right one as we go through this. But of course, we have the O2 wireless as well. And we have the original O Pro. This was one that I bought when that was announced and didn't really cover much about it because it wasn't that great. Had a rattle to it and just not kind of the pro or premium experience we were hoping for there with that one. So I think the story is a little bit different with these. So yeah, we'll talk about them. So the name of the game here is still lightweight gaming mice. The O2 Pro is coming in at 57 grams. And of course, the 4K version of that will add 2 more grams to it, making that 59. So in the scheme of things, very lightweight. And in the past with a lot of Glorious other mice, they've done the honeycomb shell to kind of save weight, but then they also have RGB on them. And so with this Pro line, they stripped that down and gone just with a solid shell, no honeycomb, no RGB, trying to go for raw performance. You can see on their landing page here, they're saying no frills, just power. So kind of that stripped down experience. Interesting thing with that though, I mean, the $100 price point is, I believe, we're going to take a look at the other here. It's still the same price point as the O2 wireless. What's up, Grant? How are you doing? You sitting in the airport terminal right now? So same price point, so you can kind of choose, what kind of features you want. Do you want the honeycomb shell? Do you want the RGB? Or do you want something that's stripped down and doesn't have all that? So interesting here. I was curious what Glorious was going to do with their Pro line and how they're going to do the pricing and everything. For me personally, I don't see the point in getting the honeycomb. I would much rather have something that's a solid shell, that's lighter weight. You can save 10 grams by going with the Pro, and it's still the same price point. So, and now this one I don't believe has their new optical switches. So I get the latest tech. They you kind of have to go with the Pro if you want the optical switches. So, did they do a minus version for this one? What's up, Dig? How are you doing? Not that I have seen. I think the only options you have are between the 1K or the 4K at this point. So, we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe that would be a reason to go with the other one. Do they still do that? The minus versions of all these too? I don't even know. Do they still sell any minus versions? Because you can get the D wireless. Okay, full size or minus. Right, yeah, I remember that. I remember checking out all the smaller sizes. That's why I'm curious, is that something they still do with these new generations? I'm not sure that they do. The O2 wireless, you don't have the option here for the smaller one. The I, once again, nothing there. The D, you do still have the choice, but that's the older, and you also have the finish option, which they don't have anymore, I don't think. On the newer ones, at least. So interesting there. But I'm glad to see these as just normal offerings now and not the Glorious Forge limited edition special order stuff. Although the what do we call it, the Golden Panda version, all the special color versions on here were pretty cool. So it'd be fun to have some different color options, it'd be fun to have some different size options, but I just don't think that's I don't know if that's gonna be something that we're gonna have moving forward. So kind of wish you could get some different colors like this one, but I guess we'll see what happens in the future. Because their CEO sent out an email saying that they're doing away with Glorious Forge, and also teased that there were some new products coming out today. So that's what we have today. Yeah, otherwise, I guess we can dive in and talk a little bit more about the specs on this. Let's do the O2 Pro. We'll talk about that one. So, 57 gram weight, super lightweight. That's very lightweight from a name brand. These do start at $100. We have the BAMF 2.0 26K sensor, which is the same one we saw in the Model O2. Also the same one we saw in the Model i2. Both of those wireless versions. And so we've had some experience with that. It's performed great for me. I haven't had any issues with that. You don't have sort of the same higher end features as what the latest from Razer and from Logitech have. With Razer and Logitech, you can split the XY axis for DPI sensitivity to dial both of those figures in. So if you are a FPS player who wants to change your sensitivity for spraying an automatic weapon, that can help with that. You can do that in the actual mouse software rather than in a game, or some games don't have that. And that's something that the Glorious doesn't have. And then likewise with the Superlight 2 from Logitech, you could do this cool thing where you can calibrate the DPI to the sensitivity of another mouse. If you're swapping to the Superlight 2 and trying to match the sensitivity of the mouse that you already used, you can basically track along right with it, and the Superlight will pick up that same sensitivity, because those sensitivities can vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. So that's one way to get it. So it's a very easy transition going over to the other one, which is kind of cool. So that's kind of stuff you don't get with the Glorious mice. Kind of that next level premium, more features, be able to dial it in and like really tweak the performance a little bit. We can take a look here and see, where's the, I'm gonna open up Glorious, and so we can take a look at the actual adjustments you can make. Why isn't the app popping up? Give me 1 second here. Usually I just search for it. Why isn't that working? Whoop. Give me 1 second while we try to find this. Alright, so Glorious Core. Here we can take a look at the actual controls that we do have over the mouse. As I open this, it changes the DPI sensitivity, like it changes my DPI setting, which is a little bit frustrating. So you can see we have the D2 Pro 4K 8K edition. Going over to performance here, you can obviously change all of your DPI settings and tweak the different levels here, what you want them to mean, and then it's very easy to swap between those. There is a button on top here if you want to quickly swap between your DPI. Then you can see there is liftoff distance, and then you can turn on or off these advanced debounce settings. So before press, before release, after press, after release, and lift off press time. Then motion sync, optimize the mouse tracking by synchronizing sensor and USB polling events. Just had that on. And then down here, you can set the different polling rates if you want. You can have them be synchronized, or you can separate those. So as you can see, we're using the, because I have it wireless right now, I can kind of only go to 4K. And then with the wireless, go to 4K, you can save if you want to make those adjustments. And we're good to go. So, it has some control in here, but nothing quite as much as what's on the Razer, Razer and Logitech mice. And then we have the switches, which are optical switches. So this is a first for Glorious. And they're saying here, it's supposed to have a quicker response time, which I think has been a major selling point for a lot of companies going to optical switches. You know, we've seen them from Razer, we've seen them in Logitech as well. And so if you're going for that, you know, top tier performance, typically optical switches, you know, do that a little bit better. So, and here it's, I mean, these figures are just between the Glorious mice, not necessarily versus competition. So I don't necessarily have a way to actually check the mouse latency and compare it with other mice. Hopefully we see some numbers coming out from other third parties here soon so we can get some actual hard numbers, but it feels good. For what I can say so far, you know, playing Battlefield 2042, it's been absolute blast. So the switches, the only thing with the switches, they seem to be snappy. There's very little, here, let me go to the overhead. We'll show this. Very little, you know, wiggle on the, let's see if it'll focus there. You push it down, very little wiggle. That feels really solid. And, you know, oh shoot, clicked on the wrong thing. Guess I should turn the, I'm gonna turn it off while I click buttons. And then, what's the other thing I wanted to show? Oh yeah, I mean, like, pretty small pre and post travel, not a whole lot of movement there. So, and they're lightweight, like they feel fine. I talked about this in my review, but like the overall clicking experience feels a little bit, or sounds a little bit, I don't know, plasticky or hollow. Like it's not that it's bad to click, but it just doesn't feel as premium as, like, you know, the Death Adder or the Logitech. Actually, as I was comparing these, I felt like the V3 Hyperspeed had the best sounding and feeling click of any of the recent mice that I've tried. So it's not that it's bad, it just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't feel that great. What's up, Javelin? Glorious sells premium items, and they're relatively cheap for what they offer too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they offer some premium features, but the whole package still just doesn't quite feel, I don't know. Like there's a reason that they're a little bit more affordable than like the Logitech and the Razer. Just like the whole package, it's got some rougher edges. It doesn't feel and perform and have quite the same features as what the more expensive mice do. Death Adder V3 Pro not even worth, just get the non. Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, yeah. If I were to be buying a mouse at this point, obviously the Death Adder V3 is my favorite. Hey, what's up, John? And if I were to be buying a mouse at this point, I would probably get the wired version of that. 100%, you're right. Get some lighter weight, and just get it at a more affordable price. But we have the wireless. I like the wireless, so that's my favorite. Right. Yep. Exactly. That's kind of what we were talking about a little bit. That's why I didn't really cover the Model O Pro when I bought that last year. Because it wasn't, well, and it was with Glorious Forge, like it wasn't available after the group buy. And then it rattled. Like it just didn't feel premium. Luckily, so far, I haven't had those issues with the new ones. We'll get the O2 Pro out here real quick. Because basically the shell looks exactly the same, but it seems to be a little bit higher quality. At least it doesn't rattle. So, but it's basically the exact same shape. So just a bunch of upgraded internals. And the same price, which is good, $100. They didn't, you know, charge anything more, which is good to see. I was curious and a little bit worried what Glorious was going to do with more Pro mice, considering that they raised the price point on all their other mice. So, right, me too. Yeah, personally, I prefer the solid shell, the solid shape. You know, for those who want RGB, like the honeycomb helps that to kind of get shown off a little bit more. But yeah, for me personally, I'd rather just have the solid shell. That's my preference. This is Alias wireless, which I think has the same shape as the D. Nice. Yeah, for me, it's like, it's almost there. Obviously, I've been using the Death Adder V3, and I love that. Very used to that shape. On the Glorious, the hump is a little bit further forward, so it's not quite, you know, the Death Adder, it's pulled back here a little bit, which makes it a little bit more comfortable for me in getting it actually kind of like in my palm. And then also, these side buttons are pretty high. Let me make sure my focus is good here. I can zoom in a little bit. Let's do that. The side buttons are pretty high on the Model D. Uh-oh, screwed up my focus. Let's see if we can... I had a comparison, like a side-by-side kind of comparison in the video and on the written review on 9 to 5 Toys. But they're a little bit smaller and just higher up, which makes it so I have to like modify my grip to get up there to reach them. You know, on a lot of other mice that have that kind of shape, I can just kind of like rock my finger up and hit it. But with the Glorious, let me turn it off so I don't push any buttons. I have to, like, I can't just rock it up from my normal grip. I can't just rock up my thumb and hit it. Or I have to like really modify my grip, which isn't as comfortable. So a little bit more effort to get up there, which made it so I didn't really like it as much. So a couple complaints there on the design. It's also interesting, talked about this, the like we've been seeing it about some other mice, we've been seeing a lot of other mice recently ditch the buttons on mouse 1 and mouse 2 that like go over the side in favor of these, I don't know, they're a little bit more split, and then they have kind of these little grooves here that makes it so like the press is only on top, there's nothing moving on the side. And Glorious even did this with their Model 02. Get that one out. So you can see here with the Model 02, which does have the honeycomb, you know, they did that, where it doesn't go down on the side. So there's no worry about like pinching or anything there, or like any sort of a ledge for, you know, people who grip it, I guess, like that. I do a 131 grip, so it's never an issue for me. Just like Techni. He had issues with the side of the main buttons. Yeah, I saw that too. He was talking about that little like lip, right? Hitting the edge there. For me and how I grip a mouse, that's not an issue for me because I never have a finger right there at the edge. So yeah, but I totally understand. Like I think that's why a lot of these other companies, and Glorious has even done it with their other mice, you know, why they kind of moved away from that design. But interestingly, with the Model O Pro, Model 02 Pro, they didn't do that. So it still has that little ledge there. Hey, what's up, Chris? So it was interesting. Like this isn't, this isn't a pro version, or how did I describe it? It's not a second generation, or it's not a pro version of the Model 02, but it is a second generation of the Model O Pro, which is just interesting that they kind of went with an older design. I'm really surprised. Okay. Oh, I've got too many mice here. What do I have active? Have you tried the new Corsair mouse, the M75? I have not. No. I feel like I haven't tried a Corsair mouse in quite a while, actually. Not an Ergo, though. Yeah. M75 Air. Oh, nice. Another call on that. GPX2 and the Haze 2 wireless should be in your lineup. Oh, some of the other competition? Yeah. For sure. Actually, I have the GPX2, but I do not have the Haze 2 or the M75 Air. Haven't watched your video yet. How's the quality on these new mice? Do they have the same QC issues as most other Glorious mice? Unfortunately, well, okay, so I don't think so. Not the same ones. Like, you know, this is the second generation of the O Pro, and on the first one, I don't think it'll pick it up. You can kind of hear it in, like, if you watch the review, I, you know, show off this rattle, and there is a little bit of noise when you shake it. Like, it's just, it does not have a premium feel. There definitely are some quality control issues there. You know, did not have the Pro moniker, you know, or didn't live up to the Pro name. This one, at least, the O2 Pro, doesn't have that same issue where it's shaking. Everything seems to be all right so far, at least, as far as just build quality goes. We were just commenting on some of the design characteristics of the D2 and how the side buttons are a little bit high for me, and I don't like those. But otherwise, just as far as like quality, like, is everything working okay and feel solid? Yes, I will say that. So I don't think it has the same quality control issues as some previous mice. Glorious makes bad products. They have made some bad products, I will say that. I don't think they're all bad though. I made after some of my first reviews of some of the Glorious stuff, like the Model O wireless, I really enjoyed that mouse after I had switched over to it and started using it quite a bit. But then as I started using more kind of premium mice from some of these other companies, I enjoyed those more. I remember when I first bought the Model D back then, it had really bad creaking. Reach out Glorious. Sent me a new one. No questions asked, which was cool though. Oh, nice. That's pretty sweet. Did it have the same issues? These mice are too expensive. Well, yeah, I mean, what do you think? What do you think with for $100 for a 57 gram mouse with optical switches? Oh, gotcha. The other ones are more expensive. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, you know, Glorious, when they first started with some of their mice, you could get the O2 wireless for $80, right? You know, now they're $100. They start at $100, which is the same price as their Pro mice. So I'm curious, you know, are they gonna drop the price of the O2 wireless? Like, I can't imagine anybody would choose this over the new Pro. I guess you have the wired, which is $65, which, you know, it has their latest sensor. Doesn't have the optical switches, but it has their latest sensor. Bottom Model O lasted about 3 months before left click started to, oh no. Switched to a Cooler Master, but almost a year's hanging. It's hanging on. That's good. Glad it's hanging on. Pulsefire H2 goes for about $70-$80. Oh, interesting. You can imagine $100, about 150 is pushing it. You're talking about just for a mouse in general, paying that price. So, yeah, 150 from Azali, but it came with a charging dock. Yeah. So at this, you know, given what you know about like the O2 Pro or the D2 Pro, at $100 for something with optical switches, their latest sensor, super lightweight. I mean, would you be interested in picking that up? Like, does that hit your requirements and your interests? John, sorry I keep singling you out, but just curious. Cheese too drippy, what's up? Also, some other things I want to... Sounds cool, yeah, it does. Very interesting. So also want to call out, I mean, we just recently reviewed the in-zone buds. We're using those, so anybody can, if you want to ask your questions about that. We're also using the SteelSeries Alias. That's the microphone we're talking on right now, with their new friggin' sweet, I'll go back to my screen, Sonar software. I need to do a dedicated video on this because I do think this is going to like revolutionize streaming audio. It's insane. So if you have any questions about those things, feel free to pop them in the chat as well. The thing about Glorious is the past rep. Yeah, it feels like they're really kind of digging themselves out of a hole. They've definitely had some issues. Yeah, after, I bought the original Model O Pro and I never used it. Felt like a kind of a waste there, which kind of stinks. Obviously, it's nice to have as a comparison because I'm a tech YouTuber, but otherwise, it's kind of a waste of money, which really sucks. Have you had more time with the H5? A little bit. I've been using it over on my sim racing rig, so while I've been playing Forza, I've been using that a little bit. So I haven't done anything super in-depth with it, unfortunately. Haven't really dug in and played around with EQ or any of the other settings on there. Still very comfortable, though. What's my main mouse? The Death Adder V3 Pro has been my favorite, my main right now. That's what I've been using the most. And will probably continue. Oh, nice. Use the Rocket Main 100. Nice. Very cool. Don't see a lot of Rocket users in here. That's awesome. So yeah, any other questions on these? We kind of, touched on most of the specs, most of the features. Sorry, I missed it if you answered. Oh, on the H5? Yeah, I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it yet. I've been using it over on my sim rig, but not enough to like really dive in and talk a whole lot more about it yet. This is the Drop Sense 75 keyboard. I'd like to get a Cone Pro though. Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, it's a slick keyboard. We did a review of it, if you want to check that one out. Yeah, some of the latest Drop stuff looks sweet too. But I've been loving this. Loving this keyboard to Drop. Crazy Corsair bought them. Yeah. Let's see here. Any other questions on any of this stuff? Oh, sweet. Thanks for subbing. Appreciate it. Yeah. Any more questions on any of this stuff? What does the mouse come with? It comes with the receiver. Comes with the cord. There is some of their little additional feet in there as well. Like you can kind of add some of that to it if you want. Let me see if I still have it in. I don't know where I put it. Let me see if it's in one of the other boxes. But it comes with, you can add a little bit more, like a larger footprint on the bottom. Let's see if I can find that. That's a little card. I'm pretty sure it does. Oh, I saw that somewhere. Now, where did I put it? Now I'm confused. Could have sworn it came with a little extra little like flip pad on it. I don't remember where those are now. I'll have to do some looking. Can I have one? Yeah, let me give you a link. You can buy one from. If anybody is interested in checking it out, there is an affiliate link, of course. Don't have to buy that, but of course it helps out the channel if you do use our links. Let me put them in the description as well. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah, any other questions or comments on these? So it's been a lot of fun playing the latest Battlefield update with their new map. Finally got it to work after the last stream, which was great. And so these mice have been a lot of fun to use for that. Just very fast-paced, kind of chaotic Battlefield goodness, because it's all close quarter. Best mouse for Fortnite. Oof, I have no idea. I don't play much Fortnite. But I would imagine one that has a couple extra buttons on it would be good. Do you notice a big difference using the 4K versus 1K polling? I don't know. I don't know if it was just like placebo effect, but like using this in 4K, I mean, I basically just tested it in 4K, and it's felt very good. I feel like that's about as much as I can really say about it. It feels really snappy. So I've been really trying it. And then I also, I tried it wired at 8K. Didn't really notice much of a difference between 4K wireless and 8K wired. It was great. Really snappy. How's the mouse so far? Any problem? My only problems with it are really, the shape of the D2. We talked about this a little bit. Just where the side buttons are positioned, they're a little bit high for me. And then I prefer something like the Death Adder V3 Pro where the hump is just a little bit further back. So those are my only complaints. Otherwise, it seems really solid. I really enjoy it. It doesn't have the same QC issues as what the old original Model O Pro did. So it feels like a more solid product. Shape is the same as the original, right? I believe so. I know on the Model O Pro and O Pro 2, they didn't update it at all. I don't have the D Pro, so I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's the same as the original, but I don't know 100%. Some people play and are insane with one of those keyboard mice things. Oh, yeah. You don't really need two side buttons. Well, then something lightweight like the glorious Model O2 Pro probably be pretty good for you. You only need two side buttons. No, sorry, I don't know how to fix that issue. So, yeah, some interesting things here. I believe battery life is the same as the O2 wireless as well at 80 hours. So nothing crazy there. at one point, I ran out of battery, and when I plugged it in, it was recharging, but like the lifetime wasn't updating here. So I was running it at 8K plugged in, and the battery life wasn't updating. And so I thought to myself, I was like, what's going on here? Is it like draining more power than it's able to recharge at? But I think either turned it off and turned it back on, or unplugged it, plugged it back in, and then updated, so it was at 100%. So it was updating, it just didn't look like it was. Yeah, I mean, most mice only have 1K polling. It's only been recently we've seen all these mice coming out with, higher stuff, and really the push for people to do that. I saw a comment somewhere, someone said like they said polling rate is the new like DPI race. It seemed like all the sensors just kept, increasing in DPI, and now all of them are like going for all these higher polling rates. It's just kind of interesting. It's like the next spec that everybody's chasing after. Apple Magic Mouse, so done with the charger. Yeah, on the bottom there. Only useful for very competitive gamers. Yeah, that's what I think as well. But at the same time, if you just want the best, typically a higher polling rate gives you a better performing mouse. So, even if you aren't like in the top tier of gamers, but you just want the best performing stuff, typically higher polling rates perform better. For me, who just plays Battlefield 2042, probably okay just using a 1K polling. All right, see ya. Any other thoughts, questions, comments, concerns on the new Glorious stuff? I'm gonna check this other mouse here and see if the little feet are in the bottom of this one. So I don't remember what I did with that. Here we go, this one has it in it. A little extra PTFE, some skates in here for the Model D if you want to put those in. So that's the other thing that's included. So what do y'all think of, it doesn't seem like there are many more questions on the mice. Obviously, drop them back in if you do have more. What do y'all think about the sound of this microphone? The Alias. I did some very, very minimal testing before the stream, but I really wanted to get it set up and try it out for this, so haven't had a whole lot of time to test it out, but I was pretty impressed with what it was able to do. The Alias. You can kind of see it just right here in the corner. It's a condenser microphone, so you don't have it as close as the dynamic mic like what you would have the MV7, which is what I have been using from Shure. But that's pretty cool. I'm actually really excited about it. So cute. I don't like SteelSeries. Nice. But so here's the thing. The microphone's cool. Yeah. Microphone's cool, but actually their software, I think, is the best part of this. Now, obviously, like, not everybody wants to use a bunch of crazy software all the time, and some of it can get kind of cumbersome on systems, but like, this solves a lot of issues and makes things a lot easier. Because Basically, you can break up all of your different audio sources into like a playback, what you're hearing, and then a stream mix. And you can change individual volumes on both of those or mute either one of those. And then to get these different things in the different categories, all you have to do is drag and drop them. So you can see the audio one up there because that's set to max. So sorry about that. I didn't pull anybody's eardrums out. But typically in the past, like with the Razer audio mixer, which is what I have been using, I was going to pull it up, but it's still plugged in. You have to go into like the Windows Sound Mixer and manually route all that stuff in there. And this is just drag and drop, which makes that very cool. So a lot of cool things you can do here where, you could put Discord in the chat and you could have one volume set for your own ears, one volume set for your stream. If people are starting to get mouthy and you don't want them coming through your stream, you just click that. Or if you have somebody in like a waiting room and you want to wait for the right moment to bring them live on your stream, then you can unmute that. And these are things that I had to download either voice meter or the virtual cables, VB cable, VB something. I don't know what it was. Like the virtual cables where you have to reroute stuff and send things to multiple places. That's kind of what I had to do in the past to get this set up. But basically you can do all that from here. And you can use any audio source for your personal mix, for your stream mix, and your mic input, which was another issue with the Razer audio mixer. To really use that, at least out of the box, you have to be plugged in wired to the audio mixer for your headphones. So that was a bummer. It just seemed like there were a bunch of limitations and workarounds I always had to go through. And so this is pretty incredible. And basically, you can do any microphone. You just set your microphone in here. It doesn't have to be the SteelSeries. You can use any headphones. It can be wired or wireless. Like I'm using the InZone Buds right now and it's still all working with this. So pretty freaking cool. I'm excited to dive into this more. And they even have, through the mic, you have basically all of your EQ settings if you want to do everything individual in here. And if you are on SteelSeries hardware, they have individual presets for Alias Boom, which is what I have, Alias Desk, the Alias Pro, which is a different microphone, still very similar. They have settings for that, and then obviously some other more generic settings. So far, I'm pretty darn impressed with this, and I'm excited to dive into it more. I don't know if you all have seen, one of the most viewed videos I've ever made for 9 to 5 Toys is about how to make your gaming headset microphone sound better for free. We can check it right now and see what kind of views it's at. It's at 888,000. So it's our most viewed video on our channel. And it's just, how to make your gaming headset microphone sound better for free. And you have to download, Voice Meter Banana and the VB cable to make all those adjustments. But you could also just use, and sorry, before I move on, a lot of people have comments saying that doing that totally screwed up their sound and nothing's working. So if you don't follow it correctly or know how to set the right ins and outs, you can kind of make it hard to hear things from your PC. So what SteelSeries has done here with Sonar, basically any microphone you can plug into here and EQ it. Any headset you can plug into here and EQ it. So some really cool things here. I'm excited to dive in more. I think basically I could remake that video, how to make your gaming headset microphone sound better for free, just with this one piece of software. And it's better looking, easier to use, and all free. Pretty cool. And I like SteelSeries products, personally. They've been some of the more comfortable headsets that I've used in the past. I like them a lot. Okay, that's my rant about SteelSeries, Alias, and Sonar. Any thoughts? Anybody have any thoughts on that stuff? Yeah, but not the Novas. Nice. Like I said, when they were like, we had a little video call where they were talking about some of this stuff. Logitech's better than all. Yeah, Logitech has a good one, has a good product as well. I was really excited when they were showing about all this stuff. It's pretty cool. Just don't like that they only offer 1 year of warranty. Yeah, that is a bummer if you have some issues with them. Oh no. Yeah, that's a bummer. Reminds me of Microsoft and the Elite controllers where like everything would just stop working. If it didn't have issues right out of the box, it would stop working like right around the warranty time. That's another whole other thing too. You bought the latest Elite? Oh no. Did you get the Core? Which one did you get? And how is it? Another one of my most viewed videos is how that controller broke my heart. Actually, I guess it's not one of them. Let's see, what number is it? It's maybe like 10th on my top viewed videos. Their marketing got to me there because they talked about updated internals, but basically it was just the exact same controller, just without the extra stuff, which makes sense. But I was hoping that it wouldn't have the same issues as it did, and my A button did not work, or it doesn't register all the time, I should say. Glorious is getting too pricey now. Yeah. Good. You bought the accessory kit, but haven't used the paddles. Oh yeah. So when I first got, I had the first gen Elite, and still have it, and it still works fine. I've never had any issues with that one, but it did take me like, I don't know, probably a good week or two of very intentionally trying to use the paddles. And back then I was playing a lot of Destiny, and it eventually, like, that became my favorite way of playing. And now I really enjoy those paddles and have a hard time with when I'm playing an FPS game with the controller without paddles. Can still do it. Can still do the claw grip and get my fingers up there to push the face buttons, but the paddles definitely make that easier for me. It made shade stepping as a hunter a lot easier in Destiny for me. Cool. Any other thoughts or questions about these mice? It might be. That's what it did to me. That's why it broke my heart. So through all my controller reviews, I would like still recommend the Elite a lot because my first gen worked fine, didn't have any issues. But then I bought that one and had some issues. I wonder why I didn't have a white mouse. Yeah, me too. No white, no colors. It's just kind of interesting. I mean, I guess it's probably just easier for them to make if they don't have to worry about multiple colors. But it is curious, just given in the past, that they've had those options. And even, like with the D, you could choose your color. And where did we see there was a finish option? Was that the D wired? Yeah, you could even choose your finish here. So when you think about it, I mean, that is a lot of different choices for the mouse. You have the 2 different sizes, 2 colors, and 2 finishes. Whereas now, with the new O2 Pro, you don't. I guess you have the option of the 4K, but that's about it. Oh, you bought the MMX 200? Because I'm so worried about the comfort. It's better. I don't know if you tried the MMX 100, but it's definitely better than those. Definitely better. Shift PP. I won't trust Glorious had scroll wheel issues on the Model D and O2 wireless. Oh, dang. Well, I mean, that's interesting. I do think that... maybe there's... I was going to say I think that the scroll wheel is the same, but no, it is different on the O2 wireless. The scroll wheel looks the same between all these different mice, and it looks the same as what's on the original Model O Pro. I mean, just, you know, externally looking at it, they look the same. They feel about the same too. Feels a little bit sharper on the new one. Like the actual press feels a little bit sharper. The older one feels a little bit mushier. But looking at this is the O2 wireless, and this is the new O2 Pro. They do look different. I don't think it's the same scroll wheel. The warranty, good question. Let's look at that. Where does it say? I feel like it said that they sent a little like information card ahead with it. Let me look at that real quick and see if they say the warranty on this real quick. Yes, glorious warranty, 2 years is what the little information says. I don't see it. Maybe I'm just missing it. I don't see it listed anywhere on their website. But the little card says 2-year warranty. Which Death Adder do you prefer? The V3 Pro is my favorite. That's the one I've been using. That's my favorite mouse. Excuse me, that's my favorite mouse right now. It's been my main since I reviewed it. No creaking? See, I don't know if that's going to come through at all. I don't hear anything or feel anything on it. So no, I don't think I've had any creaking on it. Well, which one do you recommend? So if I were to recommend one, I would go with the wired. So just the Death Adder V3, not the wireless. Because you can get all the same performance for a lot cheaper. Me personally, if I did not have a gaming mouse and I were to buy a gaming mouse right now, that would be what I would buy. Of course, like the wireless is nice, but for me personally, it would not be enough to make me want to buy or pay for the Pro over the normal V3. To me, that's been the most keep going back and forth. Been the most comfortable, lightweight, mouse that I've enjoyed using recently. I love this. And the wired one's even lighter. So, super solid. Back over there. Any glorious keyboards? Yes, I had one for a little bit. I'm trying to remember which one that was. Nice. Yeah. Another comment on the V3 wired. Here, let me look. Let me look and see which one we reviewed. I ended up sending it to Patrick, who also used to work for 9 to 5 Toys, because I didn't use it. GMMK. The GMMK Compact was the only one I believe that I've used from them. With Gateron Browns. So that was the 60%. The numpad is really interesting to me. I've thought about picking that up a couple times. So I like having a smaller keyboard. Like, I've actually grown pretty fond of the 75% layout like this drop. But there are some programs and some things I do where it would be very nice to have a numpad. I even have a Razer, I think it's their Pro type, kind of sitting off over here that sometimes I'll just pop up on my desk and turn that on if I need the numpad, like if I can, crunching some numbers for something. So it would be interesting to have a separate number pad that I could just plug in and use, with something like this instead of pulling up an entirely different keyboard. So that numpad's interesting to me. I don't know if it's $130 interesting to me. But it's interesting to me. Well, any other thoughts on this new glorious stuff? GMK Pro is $350. Wow. Which ones? Is that the pre-built? Oh, dang. Wow, yeah. That's wild. Oh yeah, sorry. My head was covering the price, but yeah, $350. That's wild. Yeah, you can get a lot of keyboard for that. I feel like the Sun 75 was cheaper than that, right? And it got a lot of crap for how expensive it was, which it's an expensive keyboard. Let's see if this pops up here. Oh, this is the bare bones. Here, let me see. Look for my review of that real quick here. Oh, it was also $350. Never mind. But I think the price has been dropping on that, right? See if I actually get to their website here and look at that. Hey, I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for stopping in. Okay, so here. They've definitely dropped the price significantly on this, down to $200. Because in my review, I talk about it being is $400 for the Polar White, which is what this one is. So this is what they don't even sell the Nightfall, or at least maybe it's just out of stock, but so that's half price of what it was, 50% off on that, which is pretty wild. Sweet. Well, any other thoughts on these? Otherwise, we might start wrapping up the stream here pretty soon. Start dancing to music. I'll probably be playing some Battlefield at some point again. New week started, right? We're not going to play any Battlefield on stream today. Viewership always drops like crazy whenever I fire up a game. But let's see, I think the new week would be started on there. To be some new Battle Pass stuff to do, some missions. Yeah, new challenges, yep. The blacker it is, the more good it is. Yeah, these are very dark. Yeah, it is a bummer they don't have other color options. But maybe someday. Maybe they'll do some, like, now that they're not doing the Forge, maybe they'll just do some, like, special edition colors or something. It'd be kind of fun. I also need to hop back in and play some more Forza. Been doing that, you know, just over the weekend a little bit. And having a lot of fun with it. Although I started playing a little bit on controller and playing multiplayer, and that kind of made my skill rating and safety rating go down a little bit. I don't know how some people are that good on a controller, but I definitely drive better when I'm using the wheel and pedals. But all right, well, I think we're gonna wrap things up here. So thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. This was a lot of fun, of course. And make sure you are subscribed. Oh, Emil, what's up? You're missing it. What are you doing? Yeah, last time you came in right at the end too. That's a bummer. You didn't even talk in chat, so it wasn't even a reaction to you entering chat. TLDR, they're good, but obviously like some of the other like Logitech and Razer stuff is better, but those are a little bit more expensive. So I haven't had any quality issues on these so far in my limited testing compared to what I have with, you know, even like the original Model O Pro. So it seems like it's a more solid product. So if you're really, you know, if you really want those optical switches and if you really want that high polling rate, yeah, I don't think this would be higher performance than a Superlight. I don't think so. But if you are on a budget and, you know, really looking to get into a higher pulling rate, this is more affordable. Although it's not $130 versus $160 for the Superlight 2. Like, it's not. It is more expensive, but not a huge difference. Superlight 2 versus Razer. I mean, I'm still Team Razer. I still like the Death Adder. I'm not the hyper competitive gamer, so this shape is what makes it my choice. Yeah, Death Adder V3. Yeah, this is the Pro, but if I were to buy a mouse right now, I'd probably buy the wired, just the Death Adder V3. Saber Wireless just came in this morning. Nice. Very cool. For me personally, if I was just buying a mouse, I don't know that the wireless is worth it to me to pay that much more. Let's see here. It's like twice as much, right? For the wireless version. Oh, $70 for the Death Adder V3, the wired. Right. I mean, yeah, and that's like, of course it is more convenient to have a wireless, and, you know, there's not a performance difference. Although, wait, the Death Adder can it do a higher polling when it is wired? I believe, for some reason I thought it could. Does it say on here? I don't remember. I thought wired it had a higher polling rate. Does it just not say in this? Huh. But anyways, okay. Yeah, wired have 8K. 8K. So, you know, for $70, you could get super lightweight. It's a little bit lighter at 59 grams. And if you have like a good mouse bungee, like, it's not, it is more convenient to have a wireless, or it can be a more fun experience to have a wireless mouse, but I don't know, if you're just going for like performance and you don't want to spend, this is less than half. I don't know. Me personally, as a father with a couple kids, if I was just buying a mouse right now, I'd probably buy that. It weighs more than my car. 2 rechargeable. Wow. Yeah, that'd be very expensive. Only thing wired I can have is my keyboard. Yeah. It's definitely cleaner to have a wireless setup. But yeah, even like, you know, I have, you can't really see it, but I have the bungee set up over here. It's like when I was doing, it's a glorious bungee when I was testing the 8K. I just had this plugged in here with their cable, and it worked great. It was still, yeah, it worked great. I really didn't have many issues with it being wired. Yeah, where do they talk about that feature of it being? Well, this is the shop. I don't want to be in the shop. I just want to find out more information about the mice. Death Adder V3. Here we go. Democratic bucks. There you go. Yeah, like that's pretty crazy to me. Yeah, and it's got the latest optical Gen 3 switches too. Like it's not like you have a wire, you shave a couple grams off for half the price. It's not white. Very true. Do they not have any colors for this? Man, the Pro gets all the fun, right? Okay. All right. We're going to call it. But thanks everybody for stopping in and hanging out during this chat. It was fun. Really appreciate everyone chiming in and hanging out and learn a little bit more about these mice. Of course, we have the full review on our YouTube channel you can check out. And then we also have the written review, and if you are interested in picking it up for yourself, there is a link in the description if you want to check those out. So, yeah, thanks y'all. Thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you again. I'm traveling later this week, and actually early next week, so it'll be a little bit until we're live again, but just stay locked to the community page on YouTube. Our Twitter account, or X account, also will post when we're going to be going live, so stay locked to those. And if you are subscribed on YouTube, you should get a notification when we're going live so you don't miss it. So thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to turn the music up and sign off. See you later. Bye. I realized I didn't have the scene set up right to have music at the end. Let me fix that for a minute. Okay, bye.